Second unit is regarding data model development for data warehouse. The basics of data warehouse we have seen. We know we can analyze the data, we can mine the data, we can store huge data. But what it involves the decision making, how we can make decision. That is more important. I'm sharing the screen with you. Just check, is it visible? Okay. Screen is visible, no? Right. Yes. So the next point, that is unit number 2, is data model development for data warehouse. And main purpose of data model development is in point of business model, like how we can make decision and we can get a profit out of it. So we are going to take four views regarding how the design of this data warehouse is made. So whenever we prepare a design according to the application, according to the requirement, the kind of data warehouse or data marts we build. So when we design it, what are the different views we should take care? So there are four views we can say. One is top down view, then data source view, then data warehouse view, and this fourth one, the business query view. Top down view, top down view of a design of a data warehouse allows you to select the relevant information which is required, which is necessary for the data warehouse. So top down view always will allow you to select that information which is relevant. So we are extracting like this. So non-relevant, unnecessary data and wasting time in processing that data will be saved. So in top-down view, we think of it so that the relevant information and which is required, necessary relevant information for data warehouse can be selected if we do have this top-down view in mind while design. So our requirement is to select the relevant information, needed information, definitely top-down view give you the better results. Second view is data source view. Data source view. So from where I should collect the data, right? Data source. So tremendous information, tremendous data we are going to process, we store, we analyze. like ETL, extract, transform, and load. And we think of it where it comes, what kind of source it will give us. So exposes, so data source view exposes the information which is being captured, stored, and managed. As I said, ETL. So information which is going to captured, which is going to stored, and which is going to process or manage by operational systems. And this data source will give you, allow you, or make focus on how the information is being collected, captured, how it is going to store, and how it is going to manage. So data source will expose this information. Third view will go to data warehouse view, which consists of fact tables and dimension tables. So the information data which we are going to store in tabular form or in other forms, then we should consider that also. And data warehouse view will consist these fact tables and dimension tables so that we can store that data. That should be the approach of design. So it should have select the relevant information, necessary information in the data warehouse. It should uh, allow you to capture data from different sources, store that data, and manage by using the operational systems. And third view is consist of fact tables and dimension tables. Fourth view is business query view. The business query view sees the perspective of data in the warehouse from the view of end user. So that is where I do have a tremendous data, but how I am using that? So that is a question if I am owner of a particular business. For example, I want to sell the clothes. So in as an end user, what is my purpose of using data warehouse and data mining is that how I can increase my business, how I can get profited, how I can fulfill the requirements of the user. If there is a need, how I can identify that need. And I should start working on providing the required materials, or I should be in a position to fulfill that need and which will give me or gain me the profit. So this is the perspective of end user when it sees the data warehouse. So that is what we are saying. Business query view will give you this perspective to look at in such a way that data warehouse should give us the benefit. Example I just given, like if I want to increase, I want to sell more, and I want to get profit from my business, so I should identify, I should have such kind of process which will give me this information. And as a data warehouse, I always look at data warehouse in that manner. That data warehouse will give me the solution. Data warehouse will provide me that information which I am going to require at times, right? So data warehouse design process. Always there can be combinations, top down, bottom up approaches we can identify, and we can use combinations of both at a time. Top down approach. Both approaches are good, both approaches are having their different advantages. As per our requirement, we should choose it. What top bottom will give you, it will starts with overall design and planning. So top down always starts from scratch and it will give you, yeah, I'm going to this. It should be added, it should be added. So overall design, we are starting with top down, and we plan for every single task, every single You can say operation we plan and accordingly we design. And this is also a mature design, top-down approach of design. If we compare at other end, bottom up, bottom up always starts with experiments and prototypes. Already we do this. I know this is it. So I add and then I go at topwards. So bottom up. So starts with the experiments and prototypes which are always available and we use based on the history, based on the needy thing. I'm in requirement of a particular thing. Whether such kind of thing is implemented, whether such kind of thing is given result, yes. If yes, then choose it. And then build your remaining overall design. So bottom up always give you advantage is that it will have start with experiments and it will have ready prototypes and we can use those prototypes time at times. If we consider the software engineering part, so software engineering consists design models and very famous two design models. SDLC life cycle, software development life cycle, will have two parts, waterfall and spiral. Waterfall is a structured and systematic analysis of each step before we proceed to the next step. So before we go to the next step, each step has its structure and analysis and systematic analysis is available. So this is how the waterfall model will give you the development of a software. When we compare it with the spiral model is a increasingly functional system. It is a rapid generation. It will give you the fast processes. And as it is fast, short turnaround time will be there. In waterfall, we do first simple step completely and then move to the next. Here it is not happening. At a time we can do it. So we are doing it in parts, small, small, small. And then we are proceeding like that. So that's why it is a rapid process, increasing functional system process. So these are the approaches we have: top-down approach, bottom-up approach, and if we consider software engineering point of view, there is a waterfall model of design process. There is a spiral model of design process. When we go to data warehouse design process, we choose a business process model because end user, we know, we have seen fourth view, business query view. Business query view always targets end user requirement, what end user thinks and what he wants. So always we choose when we go for data warehouse design process, the business process. So we can implement that business process as a model. Business process, for example, we can say orders, invoices, right? So data warehouse design process consists business processes. Then we do have the automatic level of data business processes, that is grain. So we choose grain. We can say it is increments. We can say it is a profitable like that. So where it grows. Choose the dimensions which will apply to each fact table of records. We are saying we are saying here at this side that data warehouse consists of fact tables and dimension tables, right? Dimension tables means those dimensions which we are going to increase for a particular data, one dimensional, two dimensional, three, like that. So such kind of things will be present in the data warehouse. So we are thinking about data warehouse view, which consists of fact tables and dimension tables, right? And next is business query, what end user wants. Accordingly, the data warehouse design process is implemented, and in that, we choose a business process model, which will be consisting or thinking about all the different kind of orders, fulfilling them, manufacturing, invoices, and all the stuff. Choose the dimensions that will apply to each fact table record. The fact table records which are part of data warehouse, we are applying different dimensions and we are choosing in such a way our data warehouse design process will be. So data warehouse design process allows you to choose business processes to a model. Data warehouse business process allows you to grain it. So there will be automatic labels of data in the business process. Data warehouse design process allows you to choose the different dimensions which we can apply to the fact tables. Data warehouse design process allows you to choose the measure. It means we can count it, we can measure it, the performance, so that we can take decisions based on it. We can populate them based on the fact table records. So we should be implement business processes. We should have atomic levels. We should have dimensions, and we should have measurement. So we should measure it, count it. For example, if I do this, this will give me this much profit, like that. When we do have this kind of approach, then we are going to come up with this. So this can be a multi-tiered architecture. We are thinking about the sources. We are thinking about the data sources. We are thinking about the business processes. We are thinking about the contents of data warehouse, and we are thinking about the top and bottom approaches, right? We are thinking about the relevant information we should process, needy information. So data sources, data storage, OLAP engine, and your front end tools. So this is how we are architecturing the data warehouse models or design process. So the sources are operational databases. Last time we have seen operational databases meanings. So these will act as a data source. Then from that we are implementing again, as I said, ETL will be the operational, extract, transform, and load. Metadata, which will give us the information, data about data. So we are collecting that by monitoring and integration systems, and we can convert our data marts in specific application based contents, and those are data marts. So this is how the data storage will be implemented. So there are data sources from where data will be collected, and this is how it is stored. OLAP engines, where we are processing it. And analysis, query, reports, data mining. These are the front end tools. And the end user, as an end user, I fire a query, I'll give my requirement, and as an entire process, which will have different data sources, which will have metadata, which is extracted and load, transformed and loaded, which will have a data marts, which is given by through the servers, and reports will be given or results will be given to the fired query. So this is how the multi-tiered architecture will work of data warehouse. We have seen one of a model, data warehouse model, and that is data mart, enterprise warehouse, virtual warehouse. These are the three Data warehouse models, enterprise warehouse, regarding enterprise. So it collects all the information about the subjects which are included in the entire organization, spanning tree like that. That's why we're saying spanning, which are different levels, different routes, different parts. In industry or in enterprise, there can be a different sections. Manufacturing section is different, HR section is different, right? Like this. So all the spanning parts, or we can say different routes, different parts of entire organization, and collecting information about all this of that specific organization includes the enterprise data warehouse. Data mart, subset of corporate wide data, which is having a value of specific group of users, and it is confined to, it is combined to specific selected groups. We can say that, such as a marketing data marts. We have already known this kind of model. We have seen in previous unit. In virtual warehouses, this is the third model. Virtual warehouse will have a different set of views about the operational databases which are implemented, and out of that, only few of some reviews will be materialized or implemented, we can say, or used. So virtual warehouses. Virtual warehouse, that means which will have a limitation, but we look at virtual data warehouses as an operational database warehouse where those things are required. And if those things are required in such a way, then we provide it. So this is the third model: enterprise warehouse, data mart, and virtual warehouse. So we can combine all these things and name it like data warehouse development, design development, which we can use to make a specific, very accurate, very high level corporate data model. There are data marts, there are multi-tier data warehouses, there is enterprise data warehouse, and there is a model refinement, how it is implemented. So we can say enterprise data warehouse is available, and through that we go for multi-tier data warehouse, which is doing this. That's it. So there will be a sources, from that data sources the storage will be defined, and from through storage there will be a data mining process, and through that there are the some tools, front end tools, which we can use to query and get the results back. So multi-tiered architecture, multi-tiered data warehouse is available. There are different kind of data marts. Through that we can combine and name it that it is a distributed data marts, again which are operational to multi-tier tier data warehouse. And already there is enterprise data warehouse which is giving you all the kind of information related to that enterprise only. So data sources regarding, I said data sources which will be regarding operational databases of specific enterprise. The metadata which is monitor integrated for specific enterprise, which will act as a metadata. The operational sources of data which will be ETL, extracted, transformed, and loaded in the data warehouse, and we can make from these the specific kind of specific related data storage, and that is a data mart. Now, model refinement means if I made data mart and start implementing, and I observe, I monitor, integrate that there are some lacunas, there are some limitation. And so I make a necessary changes. And those changes are in such a way that I can improve the performance. And that's why there is a data model refinement at enterprise level. There is a model refinement at data mart level. There is a model refinement at distributed data marts level. And as we go on improving and finishing and specifying the limitations, we get better results, and that those are implemented as a multi-tier data warehouse. So this is how we build a better data warehouse. So this is your data warehouse development implementation. If you wish, you can draw this diagram or take a snapshot. We'll just take a 2 minutes break. Done. Okay, next. Now here we are saying OLAP servers and OLAP engines are available, which will give us the analyzed, processed decision supporting information. What is that? And that is the OLAP server architecture. So it is OLAP server, online analytical processing, online transaction processing, which will have again, we'll see four parts which are required, main parts. Relational OLAP, that is ROLAP, also named as a relational online analytical processing. It uses relational or extended relational database management system to store and manage warehouse, and also which acts as a middleware to support missing information or required information. So OLAP acts as middleware to support the pieces. Here I can say there are these things. OLAP will act as a middleware so that if there is information which is extracted even at different levels, still we can reach and we can access. And this is how it is, apart from its storage, apart from its data source. It includes optimization of database management system and backend. Also, it implements navigation logic, aggregation required, specializations and generalizations, and additional tools and services if required to act as a middleware to support. So, relational online analytical processing focuses on relational data or again extended relational database management system. It allows you to optimize the DBMS backend. It allows you to implement aggregation, navigation logic, specialization logic, generalization logic. It also allows you to use additional tools and services so that you can store and manage data warehouse. And always it has a good scalability or better scalability. Scalable means we can increase, we can decrease, heavy load also we can handle, all this stuff. But related to relational and extended relational data base management system storage. There is multi-dimensional OLAP system, MOLAP, MOLAP, multi-dimensional online analytical processing system. This is array-based multidimensional storage, which uses sparse metric techniques. Multidimensional, more than one. Also, it has a fast indexing process so that we can search very fast. We can reach to summarized data. We can compute this summarized data, which we stored in sparse metric techniques or multidimensional storage. So all this kind of data is handled by multi-dimensional OLAP system, which supports like your cube kind of thing, multi-dimensional storage, one dimensional, two dimensional, three dimensional, more than that. There is a cube which is named as, if we do have a multi-dimensional data that is named in DBMS or data warehouse as a cube. We are going to see a cube structure. Hybrid OLAP, which is having a flexibility, which can use both relational as well as multidimensional as per requirement. And there are specialized SQL servers, specialized support for SQL queries of different schema, on different schemas, on different tables, on different fact tables, on different fact multidimensional tables. So there are specialized SQL servers which are going to handle all this SQL queries, structured query language queries. So this is how your OLAP server architecture works, which will have relational, which will have multidimensional. We can use both hybrid OLAP, which is specially mentioned, and to handle SQL servers, there are specialized SQL servers which are used. All this is a part of your OLAP server. So before user specifies query and gets results back, this is the middleware which is acting, which is giving the services between your actual storage data warehouse and as an end tool. So this is all about your design approach of data warehouse. Thing will stop here. Next time we start with, yeah, I'll definitely show you what is meant by cube next time. Cube architectures. This figure, if is visible to you, yeah, this can act as a cube. So there are multi-dimensional data: city, item, year, item year, city year, like this. All this regarding any specific product. Yeah, here you can find it. Multi-dimensional data. You see, as the time progresses, of here. Today, two people are there. Tanashri and Poonam. Third person is missing, I think. Okay. Thank you very much for joining. If you have any queries, you can ask. I don't know how you are going to submit assignments. Writing is there or not. If I'll just confirm and I'll provide you the assignment question so that you can submit it. But I'll just confirm with the Pingle sir, and then we'll provide how the next things are implemented. Okay. Thank you very much for joining. Wish you a good day. You can leave the meeting. Thank you.